And a couple things. Well, I put a fairly informal agenda on the email I sent out, and but I sent that to Stephanie, so I think that got included somehow, but I guess one of the things, the first thing on it was the legal work group, and I asked for a response from legal, and I got one, and if I can bring that up.
Do you want to motion and second the meeting minutes from
Oh, yeah.
January 10th?
Well, no, because that was a non-meeting,
That's non-meeting.
yeah. But it's nice to have the minutes. Okay, so Barbara Kiewitz is a new person in legal.
How do you spell her last name?
Well, she just sent the email for Suzanne. But I can spell it. Zulkiewicz.
No, Stephanie.
Volkowicz.
Which. So, basically, they're suggesting they have 4 dates to meet with legal. The first date is January 30th, 11 to 12, January 31st, 10 to 12, February 6th, 12 to 1, and February 7th, 2:30 to 4. Those are open times. So I guess what I need to know from the 2 of you is, you know, where that fits in with your schedule, if it does.
Can do it in February.
I'm sorry?
The February dates are okay with me.
Okay. Well,
January's out,
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, it's out.
yes.
Okay. So the 30th or the 31st?
It's out.
Oh, okay.
February 6th or 7th.
But there is in.
Both are in?
Vince, at our last meeting, we talked about how to get Strawberry Bank represented, and I did speak with Linnea. And she was gonna mull it over. You know, I think there's 3 lawyers that are on our board right now.
Yeah,
I can't name them besides Scott Peshaw. But I'll check back in with her,
okay.
see if she's come up
Yeah,
with it.
that's good.
And not that they necessarily need to be at either of these meetings, but, you know,
I think,
As the
I
process
think we
continues.
can do a lot of groundwork. I
Sure.
think that. I don't want Strawberry Banks to have to pay their lawyers, you know,
they do,
they do it. 6 or 7.
The 7th works best for me.
Wednesday, the 7th,
Mhm. 2:30?
2:30 to 4 is the opening.
Where?
Probably at the
City Council.
legal
office. Library.
Library.
City Attorney's Office.
City Attorney's Office.
Who's gonna be attending that, Vince?
Chuck, you, me, Suzanne and Trevor. Trevor is the deputy city
Mhm.
attorney.
Is Bob not gonna be involved?
That's my understanding. I think they wanna
Keep it
really
in-house.
have Trevor get involved.
Mhm.
So I just wonder, we want to talk more as this group or as the three of us about this before we have a meeting? No? Okay. I've had some ideas about, a structure. But not legal ideas, just, a structure of that there will be a nonprofit. That the nonprofit will be represented by representatives of the major organizations. And that what I'll call minor organizations, we would have a membership to the nonprofit, but not necessarily every organization be represented on the board of the nonprofit. That was just kind of one way of looking at it. Look skeptical.
Not skeptical, I'm just, I'd rather do it in a meeting.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, then let's move on.
Can I just say one quick thing
Yes,
related to that, since I'm not on that, so work group? Barbara Ward is very concerned about going the route of a separate non-profit because it would be competing against the core agencies for fundraising.
mhm,
And I think that if we keep going that way, support from especially the smaller organizations is going to dwindle.
okay,
It would be different funding.
Hopefully, but I'm just saying that it was a big discussion
Concern.
at the PS.
BHHA, what used to be
Yeah.
BHHA, I don't know what it's called.
Were there others on that call who echoed her
No.
concerns?
No,
Okay.
but everybody's ears perked up when she mentioned it.
Hmm.
I would think that, I think we've always said that this organization would not compete as a policy.
Sometimes the interests overlap.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do about it.
Well, and like municipal funding is a large piece of it, which would never probably be true for small nonprofits. City heavy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what Barbara said at the listening session we had.
Right, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that needs to be a being in the corner of the room as it's being discussed.
Maybe as things move forward, a delegation could go to whatever that meeting's called and
mhm.
talk to them.
What was the meeting?
The Portsmouth Historic Sites Association.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We
It's been
talked
around
about
for a
them
real long
last
time.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just sort of morphed, I think, kind of to include the Gundalo actually and
Yeah.
the
Yes.
albacore.
Tom, did you say that it was Barbara's concern that the smaller ones would? Did you say dwindle because of they'll be unable to compete?
That was she
That was
didn't
your-
say that directly, but she did directly say that this would be another larger consortium going after
The same
the
dollars.
same dollars.
And is that your concern as well?
No, but
Okay,
it's,
okay. I thought I heard you said that you share that concern.
I'm alerting the committee.
Yeah, no, understood. Okay, I just want to be clear.
Is there a way,
Thank you for that.
is there a
Yeah.
way eventually for some sort of an assessment to quantify the savings for each organization by having this archives versus having their own personal archives?
I mean, I've
To
done
offset.
that calculation for us, it would be $250,000.
I would think that would be pretty strong of an argument.
But then we would be paying something into the consortium for the management
Right.
and operation, so.
I think
Eventually,
it
they would
was-
have to be a budget too.
I think it was John Tabor that mentioned this same thing in the city council meeting.
Yes.
Right? So certainly something we want to be aware of.
Mhm.
And I wonder for the legal eagles, when you're meeting, whether there is a separate entity or there are very separate entities here. When we go for the funding or we try to raise money, what is the method by which the monies come from? So if you apply for a grant that only you are qualified to apply for, but it is for the archives, what is the method by which that gets routed into something if there is no separate entity?
Yeah.
Or is that entity only existing as a, what do we call that with the federal monies, the financial
Fiscal
fiscal
sponsor.
sponsor?
Yeah.
Right. Is there a way to limit what that entity does so that it is not threatening to the other individual organizations?
Right, and I don't think Barbara's concern was the small dollar
Right.
memberships. It
Sure.
was the big competitive grant monies.
Exactly, but if we don't have a single unit, then when one of us goes for those, or partners for those, what's the way we get the money into the archive? That's just my question for the legal people.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we have to
Yeah.
resolve. That's why we have.
Mm.
So we have to work.
And even after we're all done resolving it, it won't be perfect.
No. I also remember that Barbara was really advocating for us to focus on the getting the digital technology rather than the archive. So,
I think it will be interesting as we continue down this pathway to see if other organizations share her concerns, because looking at the grants we're going for, I don't see that there'd be much overlap unless there's someone planning something we're unaware of. Where I could see it is maybe in some of the private foundation, if we end up going in private foundation route, but again, I think if we bring some folks along in the conversation, we'll get a better sense of that. But thanks for bringing it to our
yeah. that's
attention.
good. Anything else on this? The next thing I wrote down was the resources for grants and other funding. And I don't know if people had a chance to think about that, the people who are kind of
We have
representing.
not met, but we could set up a meeting for today.
Yeah.
And then the goals and timeline. Did you get a chance to look at that?
We,
did.
Christine and I chatted about it, and, we're just trying to come up with a sort of an overall framework. Christine mentioned that perhaps it'd be a good idea to try and create a Gantt chart for things. So we're still noodling it out.
Yeah,
Which we'll share and we could potentially update each meeting while Kristen's taking the meeting. We could update based on what everybody reports back from their work groups.
That's what we have a media group.
okay. And then, I want to bring up the public outreach. And one of the things that I talked to Stephanie about getting a high-quality version of the report, plus a high-quality version of the, let's say, a one-fold,
Mm,
report that is the executive summary and goals. And she suggested that we do that, we agreed with that, and thought that we should get 75, at least 75 of them. As they could be put at the library and the senior center, places like that for the city. Plus, we'll have some for individuals who might want to know more about it. So, if that sounds right to everybody, just to have that as a supply.
I think it would be nice if each of us have.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
well, oh, yeah.
each of us, but also how about the organizations,
Right,
right?
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds like a little bit more.
well, she indicated that, I said, well, how many do we need? And I had an idea of us and a few, but
Yeah,
she said, no, 75, it's the price difference between printing and, binding 10 versus 75 is small.
Are you talking about just a particular goals page or the whole report?
Well, the whole
Whole
report,
report.
the whole report and then a separate one that is
On the one sheet one, you would print a lot more of, right? And give them all out.
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
For all of us to get out if.
Yeah,
When you
that
get-
would be like, I forget the size of it, a double.
Yeah, I've already made it into, to saddle stitch it, as you know, it has to be divisible by 4.
Hmm,
And adding blank pages where they should be, so that each new large section starts on the right side. It's gonna be 13 sheets of tabloid paper
mhm.
by
You're
7.
talking about the report.
For the whole
not
report.
Not the full deck. But you're talking, the second,
That's for the whole report, is
Yeah.
that,
And then there'll
the
be
two
just one
things.
sheet.
and then we're gonna do the one sheet,
the one
right?
sheet.
That's
And
just.
we think
folded.
it's the one sheet we need more of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
And will
okay
that
with it.
fold into, like a brochure
Well,
type shape?
I think probably
Does it have that?
tabloid folded in half, so so that the finished product is 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
Works out better than a brochure, because I think it's easier to file, it doesn't get lost, it just gives it more weight if it's full size versus something that's trifold.
Yeah.
I wonder if we need a trifold.
For a more passive person who, might have a slight interest and then pick something up and was like, oh yeah, this is a great idea. This is my town. I want to get, but it would be passive.
I can do
It
2
would be-
versions, it's easy. to do
Really?
2, yeah,
Mhm.
yep, it would just mean that the smaller one, the trifold, would have less data.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, and if you want, you could, or someone could go through the full report and tell me exactly which text you want in both the trifold and the full size folded in half.
and then Stephanie gets them printed. Is that how
Yeah,
this works?
Yeah, I could give her a PDF of it once it's
mhm.
set.
Yeah, she said that we take everything to, I want to say Seaport, but
Seaport.
that's not Seaport.
Southport.
Southport.
Southport, yeah. So it sounds like the city's gonna do that first.
Nice.
It's nice. And then, we also have Tom's list from Tom Watson's list from public outreach. I have it here somewhere. And what we want to do about public outreach, is it fine?
Do we have anything to say? Yeah, other than the
Well-
report?
Other than, we're moving forward.
That's an opportunity, at least for distributing these things, is at that same PHSA meeting. Their only event, well, there are 2 events. They have the Twilight Tour in the fall, and they have the Life and Death Symposium, which is February 17th. So it's only 4 weeks away. And they were asking if someone or some group from this group could do a session as part of the consortium. And as Christine said, we may not have that much to report on, but we can certainly have a bunch of the
Literature.
literature there for everybody to.
So that's needed by the 17th, so say the 16th at the very latest.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
Historic symposium that's done at the Masonic Temple.
It's
So,
a day long of lectures,
Mhm.
and there's like free soup in the middle of the day. It's a long time ago thing.
Yeah,
I
Peter,
think it's-
Misha used to do a thing called
Pay for
winter
the soup
term,
and get the lectures.
yeah.
or that,
Yeah.
and we just changed it into a 1 day thing,
I see.
like 17
Yeah, thanks for
years
bringing,
ago.
yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tom. I had chatted with Sabina, our staff member, who's the representative on that, about potentially doing a short presentation. So I told her I'd be happy to say something. Either of you is already planning on being there as well.
I'll be there, but I have
Christine or-
soup.
Okay, maybe we can go not around the lunch hour. If, I was thinking if the organizations could say something. Or a few of us, whoever is around that Saturday afternoon. I don't know that they had a time slot in,
That Sabina was working on that.
okay. I think they're waiting for other speakers to confirm,
Yes,
so. Yeah, so I said I'd be happy to slot in wherever, so I guess we can just. If that is all right with everyone, we can keep the 4 organizations in the loop and we can be the representatives at that, is that?
If someone tells me what this
Yeah.
is, yes.
It's the, yeah.
Life
the-
and death.
Yeah, it's a symposium they do, as Elizabeth was saying. I think is this
The first one we
time
did was
since
at
COVID?
was at Halloween, so
Yeah.
that was sort of our theme, and then we just carried it
But
forward.
the organization that does it is an umbrella organization.
Was
like,
Yeah.
PHHA, now it's PHSA,
Yes,
okay,
Thank you.
now it's PHSA.
and the
PHSA.
first one was about the
Sites.
African burying ground. That's why it was life and death.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Oh,
I knew.
yes, and now it has become a day-long symposium, now scheduled for the Saturday of the long weekend.
I gotcha.
And the.
of the long,
Of the long weekend.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it is?
It's President's Day weekend, yeah.
that's,
That's
Not a
not,
good idea.
that's. not
I
smart.
know. I am not on that. I am not involved with that organization, but each of the sites puts in a representative, so that was the date that was
Yeah.
chosen. It's over at the Masons.
At the Masons.
And yes, Peter does the soup. They have a number of presentations. And so I think it's a great opportunity for us not to only to chat with the PHSA people, but they do get a broader public audience that comes, so feels like a nice spot to be able to talk about this project. So as Tom or I hear more, we can let you guys know. I think they're still working out the final details.
Are there any confirmed speakers? Not about this, but in general.
I don't know, did they talk about that at the meeting, Tom? Confirmed speakers?
They did, but I wasn't taking notes.
Okay, fair enough. I think they have, maybe they had, I feel like I last heard, maybe they had the morning confirmed, but not the afternoon, so. Seems like there are a couple different things in play.
Says more information coming soon on their.
Yep.
Page.
Yeah, and Barbara is the head of VHSA right now.
If it's not already sold out, it'd be a place to plug the tree tomorrow.
We could, but let's give this a precedence right now. I agree with you, you being the spokesperson, that would be a really good idea. Because we went out.
Yeah,
there, so-
yeah.
I will let you all know, and you can all decide whether or not, but either way, I'm happy to go, and if it's only me, that's fine. Others want to join me, that'd be lovely.
I will probably be there, so.
I will be.
Okay, and do we?
good
have-
representation.
I was gonna say, do we have a slideshow from one of our public hearings?
Oh, that's
Did
interesting.
we?
We have-
No, we never did
We
that.
never did
No,
slide.
We have the video of the first one, but that video,
What video?
well, it was recorded
Oh.
at the Levinson Room. The problem was is that the only video was from there was the front,
Mhm.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, so
We took photos
Amazing.
for the
I-
report.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should make a slideshow with
So I
that.
was thinking I can, yeah, I'll just throw a few quick slides together just so there are some visuals.
I
too.
took a picture of the panel that I can email to you.
It's okay, I was just thinking if we already had a slideshow.
Yeah, we had
With
picked
like a-
around the idea of
Well, that'd
something,
be great,
but
we never did it,
no.
okay.
That
It's
might
all right,
be-
I
thought
was
it would
trying to
be
get out
too
of making
boring.
the slideshow, but like. I will
You
make
mean a
one.
slideshow
Is it
or
required?
or a
Is that what they're looking for?
presentation?
Like like just a few quick PowerPoint slides. I know we might have the hand up, but just a few
Yeah,
I think
behind, not to.
behind
yeah, just
to
behind.
show the,
Mhm.
you know, quick overview of who the archives. what
We,
our
we have a
task
picture
is.
that we all took outside, which would be nice to
Yeah,
include.
what our charge was, what the recommendations are,
Mm.
and where we are in the process, you know, I'm thinking like 5 slides, but just a visual to. Keep
Yep.
people interested while I'm,
I can
talking at
email
them.
you the Word version of the report so you can extract, so you're not reinventing the wheel if you want.
sure, that'd be great, thank you.
Anything else? They like short meetings.
Right. Wonderful.
So for me to create those 2 files that are needed for the 16th of February. It's kind of obvious probably what's needed, but I don't want to be the only person.
Oh, no.
I wrote that, I'll send you my suggestions for like
Okay.
the smallest one.
Okay, good, perfect.
It's like the most condensed.
Yeah.
If you want, send whatever you want
Sure.
to me
To
and I can then send it.
Okay,
Is that
Alright.
sort of our protocol moving forward? Any communication should go
Yeah.
through you?
Yeah, or Christine,
Okay.
right, Christine? Is that, I guess I have to.
I'm sorry.
Either you or I can communicate with the whole committee, is that right?
I know you can. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea how that works on city assigned committees.
I'll talk to the local.
Because it's the mayor's committee, so it's
Yeah.
Is this still a blue ribbon committee?
Yes,
task force. No? Are we still-
that allows people who are not residents but are members of organizations to be part.
That's a distinction. That,
Yeah, that is a distinction. They want to keep that.
Yeah.
Although well, I mean, any official committee of the city, that's done by ordinance or something like that. It's supposed to be residents.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember that.
and the legal committee again is meeting February 7th at the city attorney's office, 2:30 to 4, is that correct?
Yes. Any other questions?
Guess my only question is, the city attorney's office already thinking about a structure.
I don't know, but I mean, Christine and I met with Suzanne and Bob. I don't know, a couple months ago. And Bob had some thoughts about it, but. You know, he's not part of it, so. I'm sure they are thinking about it. You know,
But you have nothing, like, if there's anything before the meeting, I'd like to know.
yeah. Yeah, of course,
But we can start at the meeting if they don't, that's fine.
yeah, I think that, I'm pretty impressed with Trevor. I don't know if you met.
Very smart guy.
He's a real smart guy, so. I think he'd be good.
So we done?
Closing the meeting. All
We
right,
can be.
meeting ending.
Can you just confirm when our next meeting is?
It's the
The fourth
fourth
Monday?
Monday of every month
26th? And.
at
back
9
at City
o'clock,
Hall?
at 9 o'clock at conference room A.
Great, thank you.
So 26th.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a lot of time to get a lot of things done. That's my attitude, right?